Why are people leaving the state of Arizona when the state of Arizona seems to have everything going for it at this current time? Yet there are people leaving Phoenix, Tucson, the major cities, and of course places around Arizona to relocate to other areas across the country. And today we're going to discuss why that is. Stay tuned. Okay guys, there are several reasons why people are leaving Arizona. Now, here's the deal. These are the stats. The data would suggest otherwise, right? Which is very, very true. The data suggests that there are way more people right now moving into the state of Arizona than leaving the state of Arizona. In fact, here are the numbers. For 2021, there were actually 269 people per day moving to the state of Arizona from obviously out of the state. So 269 a day, that's a lot of people. So if you do the math on that, that is a number of 98,185 people that moved into the state of Arizona in 2021. So that easily puts Arizona in the top 5 across the country. Yet, that being said, there are people choosing to leave the state of Arizona even in this current hot economy, okay? And what are those reasons? Well, let's go over a couple of reasons right now, all right? A couple of reasons is it's hot. Okay, now that's no secret, we're in the desert, but yet some people just can't handle the heat. If you can't stand the heat, I guess they're getting out of the kitchen. Bad joke, I know, but that is true. That is true. There are people who just cannot stand the heat. Now, some people are actually choosing to leave the state, go back to Minnesota or Illinois or Nebraska or wherever, and then choosing to become a snowbird where they're living in Arizona part-time for some of the year. Now, if you can do that financially or with your logistically with your schedule, then that is ideal because you get the best of both worlds. You get to go back to the Midwest or East Coast or wherever you're from and enjoy a little cooler weather. You might have some humidity, right? So humidity is not something we have in Arizona. Whole other conversation. However, you can also enjoy the beautiful, gorgeous weather that we have in Arizona for about 4 or 5 months out of the year. And then we have those shoulder months, right, of May, October, where it's still could be a little hot, but it's not the desert, blazing, scorching hot weather that everyone knows about when it comes to June, July, and August, okay? So heat, that is one of the reasons people are leaving the state of Arizona. Okay, now let's go to another reason. The next reason that people are leaving the state of Arizona is lack of culture. Now, I personally don't believe this. However, we've taken a survey and a lot of people that are talking about why they do choose to leave, because again, being realtors, we are able to talk to people, especially clients of ours that are selling their houses and leaving out of state. Why is that, right? So we get a good perspective and outlook on why some people are choosing to leave. So some people have said a lack of culture. Now, I don't necessarily believe that because maybe about 30, 40, 50 years ago, that could have been more true. But boy, now there are so many people that are transplants moving to Arizona and second generation families now that are having kids and so on and so forth in Arizona. That culture is much more diverse in the state of Arizona. So you have obviously museums too that recognize this culture going back to Native Americans and the history of Arizona and who settled it and so on and so forth. But you also are getting that influx of people from out of state because Arizona is such a good state for people to move to. Again, 269 people every single day for the year 2021. That it has and is becoming much more diverse. So again, culture-wise, are there places that have more culture potentially? But yeah, there probably are across the country in the United States here, but Arizona is up and coming when it comes to culture. And personally, I just don't see that being a reason why you would want to leave. But to each their own, some people have said that, and that's the reason they are taking off. All right, let's move on to the next reason why some people are moving, and that is the lack of affordability. All right, guys, so cost of living is driven heavily by housing affordability. And unfortunately, it's no secret because of really COVID that really exacerbated this, the post-COVID housing boom. There are so many people with money, with more equity because of higher price points in their houses in Seattle, Portland, Los Angeles, San Francisco, etc., that are moving and have moved into Arizona. Now, with the influx of people coming from Chicago and California and Seattle and all these places, it has driven up the home values. So guys, it used to be actually pretty good deal to live in Arizona prior to COVID. And now in 2020, towards the end of it, 2021, 2022, we've had so much appreciation, guys, and so much demand for people who are looking to move in Arizona and have done so. and they have some money. And so they are spending it, and they're spending it on housing, and it has driven up the price, which has made, the housing almost double, not quite, but almost double since basically COVID. So you're looking at appreciation of about a little over 35 to almost 40% in some areas across the valley since COVID has taken place. So guys, it is no longer extremely affordable to live in the Phoenix area because everyone kind of discovered it and they were forced to do so with COVID. With people working out, have more flexibility, people working out of their house for their job, or more baby boomers retiring, they are coming down to Phoenix because they don't have to be in that certain city or state across the country that they really didn't want to be in ultimately. And so they're coming here, and it's driven up the affordability. Now, overall, affordability is still really good, actually, when you look at some of the more expensive cities across the country traditionally. So like LA, New York, Boston, Austin, Texas even, Chicago, these places, Seattle, these places are still much more expensive to live for housing than Phoenix. But again, Phoenix is creeping up there when it comes to the affordability aspect, not being so much anymore because appreciation has just boomed here since post-COVID, okay? So affordability, that's why some people are choosing to leave to get their dollar stretched further, to be able to buy a house that's very similar that they would buy here, but in a different state or city. They can get double the square footage, let's say, right? And 3 or 4 car garages instead of maybe a 1 or 2. So it just depends where you're at in the valley based upon affordability. But overall, it is much more affordable to live elsewhere in the country now, except for the coast states for the most part, than it is in Phoenix. Another reason why some people are leaving is that they said is crime. Now, guys, I just don't see it that often. But crime, the data on crime in Phoenix would suggest that this is not true, okay? Because crime has stagnated. In fact, it has gone down over the last couple of years. However, given the data and how they do work the data with the amount of people coming in, even though crime may be somewhat prevalent, it's not as much or increasing like some other cities or states across the country have done so since COVID, as an example, okay? So you still have the number one crime that gets recorded the most here in Phoenix are carjackings, people stealing cars. Now, I've never experienced it. I've been here for 17 years, guys. 17 years in Phoenix. Love it, by the way. I highly recommend it. Come on down here and check it out. But guys, 17 years, I don't even know anybody who's had the car stolen. Not one. Now, I think it depends on where you live, what location of the valley you're in, and things of that nature, as it would with any city across the country. But I just don't see the crime that some people say is more rampant, therefore they want to go to a different city. I just don't see it. And the data would suggest that that's not true. It's actually decreasing. So again, that is a reason that some people have said on a survey that we've actually talked to as well. So we put it on the list. But again, it's just not that rampant. Okay, another reason, guys, is health. Now, Arizona overall has a really good healthcare system. They really and truly do, and it's affordable. Matter of fact, from a cost of living standpoint, everything on cost of living is based off this scale of 100, right? Are you below it as a national average for a city or somewhere in America, or are you above it? Now, with healthcare, Phoenix, it hovers right around 100. In fact, they're just usually a little bit just below it at 98, 99 on the cost of living for healthcare. So the healthcare system is good. In fact, we are one of the cities where we have the Mayo Clinic, guys, the premier healthcare spot for just that across the country for the United States of America. And we are one of 3 cities, with Jacksonville and Rochester, Minnesota being the other 2. We have not just one Mayo Clinic hospital, but we have 2. So it's just a great place for healthcare. But some people, from a health standpoint, not healthcare, have left the state of Arizona and gone elsewhere. Primarily why? Air quality, okay? Now, Arizona is a valley, okay? You probably heard it called the Valley of the Sun. If you're an NBA basketball fan, you probably saw on the Phoenix Suns jerseys it says the Valley, right? Because we are known as the Valley of the Sun. But because of that, we are surrounded by mountains almost all the way around. And so what happens is when you have pollution and smog, it will sit down in the valley and it just won't escape much because we don't get usually a lot of wind in Phoenix as well, like you do other parts of the country. So because we don't have a lot of wind and we have pollution because we have over 5 million people here and some smog, it will sit down in here and just kind of hover and not be the best air quality compared to other cities across the country. And if you're sensitive to that, there are a good amount of people that I know with asthma that live down here in Phoenix. And, I can't really speak to that. I don't know if they suffer more than not because I haven't really had a deep conversation about that. But I know people thrive and they live here and they do just fine. But, again, I'm not an expert and healthcare expert when it comes to lung issues, but there are some people that do struggle more being down here because of that. And they do have to leave to be someplace where the air is a little better quality, okay? So that is one reason some people choose to leave the state of Arizona. Moving on to another reason, guys. Another reason would be the lack of greenery or seasons, okay? Now, there's two different things there, but they are intertwined, right? Because if you have 4 seasons, you're probably gonna have a lot more rain. If you have a lot more rain, you're gonna have more naturally occurring grass and plants that just grow up everywhere, right? And some weeds, right? Yeah, we won't talk about the weeds though right now, because we have weeds down here too as well. Arizona does have weeds with some of the landscaping and the plant life that is in the desert. Because even though it doesn't rain a lot, it does rain some, and we do have some weeds. However, the lack of greenery is a real thing. Some people come down here from the Midwest and they just go, man, I can't do anymore. The brown, neutral, earth tone colors just don't do it for them because they grew up in a place their whole life where, like most of the country, it's green. Grass grows naturally in someone's front yard and backyards. And so when you come down here, it's kind of a shock when you realize that's not going to happen unless you are intentional about it. Do a lot of people have grass in the front yard or backyards? Absolutely. In fact, I have grass in my front and backyards both, but you got to put a watering system in, and it's going to cost a little money on the water bill because to upkeep it, to keep it growing. Now, it's not terribly expensive to do so, but it is a little more work and a little more upfront cost to put in that watering system with the sprinklers, right? So you aren't out there with a hose, doing the old school sprinkler like in Nebraska where I'm from, people do in the front yard when they need to get the little grass patch a little more green, right? So, that being said, some people do leave to go back to, they just want that green outlook and landscape for their house and in the neighborhoods they live in and drive through. And lack of seasons, guys. Lack of seasons is a real thing. I joke a lot that we don't have 4 seasons because we don't. We have more like 3 seasons technically in Arizona, but I joke all the time that we have 2. We have really the hot summer, and then we have the other season, which is awesomeness, pure awesomeness, guys. And that's why you want to live in Arizona. I'm telling you. These people that are leaving, they probably have really good reasons, but they're really specific reasons. And a lot of people sometimes don't give the time to adapt to Arizona. I think people come down here, I know, and they may live here for a month-to-month rental, or maybe they do stick out 12 months on a rental, and they just say, you know what, I don't want to give it any further. I'm going back to the comfort zone, what they're used to, right? But if you're willing to get a little bit uncomfortable and appreciate the beauty that is the natural Sonoran Desert, you will love Phoenix, Arizona, okay? Now, another reason that some people have left is because of family, all right? Family, guys. Because Arizona is so full of transplants and there still aren't that many native Arizonans actually living here compared to the general population, right? That makes up Phoenix, Arizona as an example. You do have a lot of transplants. So people come down here from all over the country and they want to get that warm weather and they want the lifestyle and to live down in Phoenix. And then all of a sudden they start getting homesick, right? Because maybe mom and dad are still back in, Kansas or, Indiana or wherever, and grandpa and grandma are too, maybe brothers and sisters, and it's a tight-knit family, they just need to go back to have some family love, right? You can't blame people like that. Family is awesome. Family is great. Family should be celebrated. And if you need that or want that and want to be close so you can drive to your grandma's house or whatever it is every Sunday for dinner or something, more power to you. Then some people do leave and go back for that. And listen, I don't fault them 1 second for that because family is super important. Now, on the flip side of that, what a lot of people end up doing, they come down here as the trailblazer, the black sheep of the family, whatever, and they're going to leave the tight-knit family or come down to Phoenix and start a new life. They do that, and then guess what happens? They stay, and then all the family moves down to Phoenix, and they go, holy cow, this place is awesome. The weather, why didn't we come down here sooner? So that happens a lot too, and it's very, very common to have one person start the trend and the rest of their extended family or real close family actually follow suit over the next several years. So that is very, very common down here in Arizona. And guys, the last reason that we'll touch on here that some people do actually leave the state of Arizona for is the lack of college or universities that are within a close proximity around the Phoenix, Arizona area. Guys, there's no secret that when it comes to how you rank the size maybe of a university, a lot of that goes by what conference they're in when it comes to athletics, right? So, for example, you have the Pac-12, which is one of the major 5 conferences across the country for universities. And in this state, you only have 2 schools in a major conference. That's Arizona and Arizona State. Then you have Northern Arizona, which is the next one, located in Flagstaff. That does have campuses and some satellite offices here in the Phoenix area. But Northern Arizona University is a good-sized university. They are Division I in some athletics, but they're a member of the Big Sky Conference, and that's like mid-major Division I for most athletics. And then from there, you have Grand Canyon University, which is located right here in Phoenix, which is an up-and-coming small private Christian university that is growing by leaps and bounds, and that is Division I in some sports as well. But again, overall, the campus is small, and it's not a major university. Then you have a bunch of satellite small startup universities that are located in office buildings and things of that nature that people can attend. You have trade schools, and you have a large community college, junior college league as well, or division, with a good amount of schools in that. So you have like Scottsdale Community College, Glendale Community College, Phoenix College, Mesa Community College, and so on and so forth. And there's a whole league in the state of Arizona for actually really good athletics and sports for these community colleges. But again, they're still just a community college. So if you're looking for a 4-year education, you're not going to get it there. You're going to get a 2-year education, then you have to move on to another university. Whereas, if you're in the Midwest, and you're located in, I don't know, Chicago, Illinois, or Indianapolis, Indiana, you have all kinds of Division I schools, major universities, all within, a 3 to 4 to 5 mile drive that mom and dad can come visit on the weekend, or you can maybe head back for a holiday weekend or whatever it is, so you can stay close to home base, wherever that may be. Whereas in Arizona, drive time to these other universities in California and Nevada and Texas or whatever, New Mexico, it's pretty significant. So it's just not the same feel from that standpoint. So some people will leave to give their kids the opportunity to maybe have a close by major college university experience within driving distance, so to speak, right, of their home base city of where mom and dad are living and where the kids grew up. So those are the reasons why some people choose to leave the great state of Arizona and the amazing city of Phoenix, Arizona. But again, guys, they are the minority, by far the minority, okay? The majority of people thrive and choose to stay in Phoenix, Arizona, and the majority of people from across the country are moving to Arizona as well. So it is a phenomenal place. We love it. I love it. I'm passionate about it. That's why we named our YouTube channel Everything Phoenix, because we want to talk about everything Phoenix, the good, the bad, the ugly, make sure you are well informed so that you can make the best decision possible when it comes to moving here, moving away from here, buying a house, downsizing, upsizing, whatever it is. We got your back, and we want to help you with that process. So any questions, please call us at 1-888-KCREG11. That's 888-527-3411. Call, or you can text as well. That's just fine. You can email at info@kellycookhomes.com. But please comment below, guys. Let us know what you think of why people are leaving Arizona and why they should be leaving, and maybe they should stay, right? They should stay, right? What are the reasons why they should stay, right? As opposed to why they're leaving. And maybe those people who are thinking about leaving will see this video and they'll see your comments and go, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna stay and stick this out because Phoenix is an amazing place. And guys, remember to check out our Instagram handle at Kelly Cook Real Estate Group, where we are putting content out on a daily basis of the life of what we're doing, helping our buyers and sellers and investors and people relocating to Phoenix on a daily basis. And we absolutely love it. So check that out too as well. So don't forget, guys, call me.